Assalamu alaikum.
It's going to be a dry one, based off today's topic. But go ahead. You're the host. I'm just the guy.
Welcome, everybody. It's definitely not going to be a dry one. Tonight is going to be an absolutely amazing show, a very informational show. Tonight, we are spinning a topic. So the last 2 episodes of the recipe, you guys got to hear Brother Jolly and Brother Naeem.
Don't just jump out there and say, okay, go ahead. I'm going to let you finish. It's your thing. Go ahead.
He be really trying it. He be trying it. The co-host, I think, is going to the head a little bit. But you guys got to hear Brother Jolly and Brother Naeem give us the ingredients to a good Muslim wife from their opinions, from their perspective.
Good answer.
Absolutely.
It was opinions.
It was definitely
opinions. So if you're fueled or enraged by these opinions, tough titty, said the kitty, but the milk's still good. Go ahead. What you were saying?
So because he feels that way, Allah has blessed us to have 2 beautiful Muslimas inside of Beyonka Studios tonight. Absolutely. To be able to give us their perspective on that topic, as well as going into the new topic, which is the ingredients to the recipe of a good Muslim husband. So y'all got to tell us what the ingredients to a good Muslim wife was. But tonight, we get to hear from the sisters what the ingredients to a good Muslim husband is.
And then respectfully in their opinions.
Respectfully in their opinions.
And let's be mindful, the other show, that first one we did was over 1,200 views. So, it's 1,200 people were sitting back and they're watching and listening.
Yeah, but I will say this, because I know that we have some knowledgeable people here. So, even though some of them are views, some of them are views, but I believe that these good sisters are knowledgeable enough to not just bring their opinions, but also bring facts. Am I right? Correct. Oh. So, let me introduce the first sister here. The very first sister here we have is Sister Sierra. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us. No problem. And next we have Sister Imani.
Who?
Sister Imani. Walaikum assalam. Sister Imani. When I just said your name, it just reminded me of the first time I ever heard the name Imani. And I'm not going to stay off topic, but Imani is like that sweet, subtle name. And I think everybody heard that name on Poetic Justice. So they was like, oh, I'm going to name my baby Imani. And I always wanted to do that, but I went with the K's. But welcome, Imani. Assalamu alaikum. I'm so happy that you decided to join us tonight. I love that you all were not at all afraid to come and have this conversation with the brothers. Because they were very opinionated. So, started off tonight, I would like to just bring the floor to you all immediately because they got to give us their opinions on what the ingredients to a good Muslim wife was. So, but I don't believe they gave the exact ingredients. They just kind of told us like how they felt about different things going on in a marriage that a husband should do, that the wife should do. And I'm sure you guys, both of you had the chance to watch the show?
Yes, I have.
Okay, did you get a chance to watch one of them?
I watched a little bit of it.
Okay, so I'm going to just start from the show 1. How did you feel about that show?
I thought it was done well. I think the talking points was done well. The 3 individuals that was on the show, I think it just matched well. Everybody brought their own individual, character to, and their opinions and things regarding the Quran and Sunnah. So I thought it was done well.
Okay, well, I appreciate that because I thought it was, I thought it was good as well. Were there anything that was said on that show that stood out to you that you wanted to address tonight?
A whole bunch.
A whole bunch. Hold on. Okay. A whole bunch. Okay, wait. Where's the pen, Jolly? Because
I was writing down, but then I just said, you know what? I'm up for a challenge this evening.
Okay. So, let's get to it. Okay, so let's address the first thing that you would like to address tonight. Because the brothers, are y'all ready?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I think it was more so in episode 2.
Oh, episode 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was I don't know if you want to call it a comment or an opinion, when it was said that women who make a certain amount of money or who is labeled independent, is not necessarily submissive in the home. And
I ain't see that part.
I said it.
that
He said
kind
it.
of
I said
spice.
I don't care. I said
So
it.
why you feel? Oh, I'm
I don't know
sorry.
that.
No, and
Why you feel like that?
Okay.
Okay.
so I thought that was interesting because
Y'all put me in there.
I wonder where do they get that from? Is it from, and this is not to bring out anybody's personal experience, but is it from personal experience? Is it from, brothers communicate in the community? Is there conversation that's being had? I'm just curious of where people get that from because that's not necessarily always true,
Right.
So
Or is it an intimidation?
Or is it?
It's all that.
I love that. It's all
It's all
that.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
Ain't no
respect that.
shame in the game.
So the question came from a viewer in the first episode. They messaged me and asked the question, and I'm gonna just tell you why they asked the question. They said that they noticed that Muslim men, their wives like working in the nursing field. Not to put the person on blast, but working in the nursing field, like once a sister is working too much, or if she's starting to make more money and moving up, then all of a sudden they're making excuses like, oh, my husband needs me more at home, and they're letting go of their job and their dreams and going back home to be a housewife. So they looked at it, and this was a non-Muslim who sent that into the show. They looked at it as, well, can she not be above him? Because does that make her not submissive? Did she have to? Because she didn't feel comfortable asking her friend this question. So she felt like, I always wanted to know that, like, is it a point in a marriage for Muslims where it's like, okay, you can do this, but only to this statute, and then once you reach this statute, you can't go no higher because I'm not higher than that. So that way they keep them to be submissive. So I was like, okay, well, let me just ask the question on the show. So when the brothers did say that, like, definitely stood, like, to me, to that person, they were like, see what I'm saying? They don't want her to make money because he probably didn't want her to make more money than him, because then she wasn't going to do whatever he needed. She feels like a Muslim man wants the Muslim woman to feel like he's superior, like he's needed. Like if she's making more money than him, then how is she feeling like he's needed?
I think that he can be needed in different areas. I don't feel like it's all financial at all. So.
Really?
Check out.
I'm just saying though. So
Check out.
where
What do
is
you mean
this?
check me out? That's my opinion.
I mean, we hear you. We
respect
hear
that.
you. We
I'm
ain't
glad
nothing
you
wrong with that. But I'm just curious. I mean, you saying that that's not the end all be alls other areas or whatever. I mean, like, where those sisters at that are not looking for any financial gain, since you're saying that he can be helpful in other areas?
Well,
I'm not
I
saying
didn't
for
say
you, some
no
brothers I
financial
know.
gain at
Oh,
all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I received it.
I said if a
sorry.
woman makes more than you, I said you can be resourceful or more beneficial in other
In what
areas.
other ways? I'm curious.
Islamically,
Okay.
Nah.
handy around the house,
Oh, okay.
handy with the sister's business. I mean, it's different. Handy with your children.
Oh, similar to.
You know what I'm saying? Teaching me
similar to
the
Khadijah.
deen.
That's what you're saying.
Different things.
That's what you're saying.
Teacher.
I'm just saying that's to me.
I'm
that-
not asking you. Said helpful
Yeah,
with the business. So
yeah.
I gotta ask. Is that what you're saying?
I said different areas. Shit, that's one of them.
Okay. That's interesting.
So why are you shaking your head, Naeem?
I mean,
It's
you
too
might as
good
well
to be
tap
true
in.
coming from
No,
you.
I mean,
It is.
no, I
It's
feel
too
like
good to
so.
be true. That's
It
all.
Well, yeah, it is too good to be true, but I'll say it is a form of intimidation because here's the thing. In most cases, if a woman don't got years in with you, she not gonna support you like that. So I've never seen a woman come in and be like, oh, I'm gonna make this 150, I'm a nurse, you go to school and I'm gonna hold you down. Like that's you what y'all saying, that's probably y'all, but most women in the community not thinking like that. And you do have men and women who use their finances as an intimidation tactic. But you talk about teaching. Who really want to learn the deen?
Me.
I want to grow with my
That's how we-
husband.
Yeah.
I want to grow with my
Yeah.
husband. And you
Alright, cool,
also
so
are
let's-
talking to thoroughbreds.
So,
Like, I'm not a-
here we go.
I'm just saying I'm not a young girl. So
So cool.
I have been there and
Let's-
I've done that. So now I'm looking for
let's
something a
unpack
little
that for a
different.
This is Imani for y'all know in the community.
Yes, they know who
Let's
it
be
is.
clear.
They know
What we
who
talking
it
about?
is.
She
Let's-
said
They know who it
thoroughbred.
is.
Let's unpack that for a second, right?
I don't need no introduction, baby.
No,
Excuse me.
you say that. That might be y'all thing, right? But let's be real. In most cases, people want a trophy piece. They're not really trying to grow. It's a difference between me teaching you and us studying together.
I would like to study together.
So,
yeah.
like we talked, what was episode 1 or 2? Like everybody got to have their own personal walk.
Mm-hmm.
It can't just be like, because I'm doing this, you got to do it, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
You got to kind of be individual and be a team at the same time,
Right.
and find that cohesion.
Right.
But I haven't seen it from other brothers and stuff like that. These
I think
people that
when
talk
brothers,
don't.
I
like,
think
mix
that when
like that
brothers
sometimes.
vet these women, they are not talking about the serious conversations or topics initially. And I don't think that, in my opinion, I don't think that brothers are courting sisters or maybe talking to a sister long enough to really get to know the sister.
So
Like y'all
how
haven't.
should we do it?
I'm just saying y'all haven't really been through anything together to see what the sister is going to do or how she's going to react to a situation
So what
or a
would you
scenario.
recommend some brothers do?
I'm just saying, for me, I think that some brothers should give it some time. I know we ain't supposed to, take forever to get married, but I think you should get to know your spouse a little more than some of these
sister-
brothers.
Nah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I like that though, right? But it's no. Hold on, let me check.
It's individualized.
Hey Siri, turn on silent mode. Sir, don't.
Sorry, I can't help you with that.
Hey,
See,
not-
my man said, "Cause you talking." I'm trying to talk to him, trying to get him to chill out. He talking, he can't talk. That's my Indian man. A sister had made a post on social media, and I'm just curious of y'all opposition to this. She made a post and she said, "I feel like when people get married, they should stay. Since we're trying to do the righteous thing, they should stay in whatever situation they in." And just date for like a year. Do y'all agree with that? Or
What you
y'all
mean?
opposed
What you
to
mean?
that?
Stay in what type of situation are they in?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean dating from the rip?
No.
Or
like,
you talking about with like if I live by myself, you live by yourself, we get married, but we're dating for that first year,
Yes.
like a trial period.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I think I'm with
yeah.
that.
Yes.
I think I'm with
Okay,
that.
okay, that's interesting. Because I saw it, hold on, because I saw it and I'm like, wow, this is very interesting. It's not that, okay, well, he's going to automatically assume this or you're going to automatically meaning responsibility, what I'm saying. It's not saying that he's going to do that. Now, obviously, y'all can work out whatever arrangement y'all want to, but the sister was saying that she feel like this is the way things should go because, again, when we striving to be good Muslims, you really don't know somebody until you live with them, try to do business with them.
That's
So
my
then the
point.
thing is, when you get with somebody, I was told I was being a butthole because my thing is, no matter what happens in the course of the relationship, if you get with somebody, I personally feel like if it's not there, it's just not there. Like, why do the 6 months, the year, how long is it going to be for you to realize that this brother going to keep sucking on that glass joint? You know what I mean? How long is it before he gonna fall back on running around there on the DL and stuff like that? Because these are real issues that happen in the community, and people constantly like chill, patience, and like sis.
Well, I know a brother who did that, and he had a wife out of town. He lived
Mhm.
here, and they got married, but they did their, I guess, trial period, if you will, for like a year and a
Did it
half.
work? Are they like still
They
married?
still together. So after that trial period, they still got along, so they decided to join.
What's
And
the,
they
Okay.
still,
what's the
That is
condition?
like,
what's,
yeah,
what's the
it was,
condition?
it was very dope to me. I was like,
Absolutely.
yo,
What's the
Absolutely.
conditions of that arrangement, though?
And
what
it's
you
like-
mean the conditions?
I think it could be whatever you want because that's what.
Yeah, it was what
is,
their
because
arrangement
the
was,
contract.
but the brother was tired of remarrying and remarrying. He got, like what you're saying, he got tired of that. So that's what he came up with, and it worked for him.
That's good.
So when I'm saying the conditions, like, are you being
A lot of,
intimate? or you just
Muslims should
dating?
Yeah,
do
and, it was,
that.
and
My
they were
personal
intimate,
opinion.
but it was more dating, like, she would come on the weekend, he would go
Yeah.
see her on the
Should they live out of
weekend.
state?
Yeah,
That's cool.
and then
Well,
she
that
just
might
joined
work-
him
That might
and,
work for them because they out of state.
That's cool.
but still, even
Even
if
if
you're
it's
not
not-
out
yeah,
of
even
state,
if you are
if you
in the
have,
state.
like, I wouldn't mind, like, I'm single, I live alone. So me coming right in a marriage, that might be a little difficult for me because I'm used to being single. So that would be ideal for me because I would feel like I'm married, but I am dating because I get to see my husband on the weekend. That's exciting for me. So if we doing that for a year,
Yeah.
then that means that, okay, now I know what we don't like. He know what I don't like. I know what
Yeah.
he likes. You know,
Instead of
and
merging
then we,
houses all together
yeah,
at
so
once.
we're slowly merging together.
I think that would definitely be
That's
ideal. I've never even thought about that because with the
A lot of
whole
people do.
process, right? With that whole process, like you said, you can't stay intended for a long, like you're not supposed to stay intended forever. And dating, you get to know, because I always used to be like, dang, what you gonna do if that person is snoring? And you like, oh, I can't take that.
But that is very important.
Yeah,
Right?
it really is. Even down to how somebody keeps themselves clean. Like you get to go over that house and you get to see like, okay, I see that bathroom is still dirty. Yeah, that's not something that, you know, so that year, I think that's beautiful.
I like
That-
my fluffy towels.
Right. So okay, so being submissive, I feel like y'all answer is still that Muslim men do like submissive women. And one of the
Hold on for a second. You're cold. Would you like me to go to my truck and get my jacket? It's very warm.
You sure? I mean, not you. I'm saying her. You sure? Okay, because I'm about to say, I feel like that.
You know what I mean? She cool. I know her. You know what I mean? So, my thing is, when that is, it doesn't bother me. Again,
It doesn't bother you.
No, and I don't think, generally, some brothers, I'll say, it doesn't bother some brothers, but again, it's going to go back to the court and then talk to the right one. Because, I mean, a sister making more money, that doesn't stop my flow or whatever. Like, if you're real, going back to when you ask him what kind of man and stuff like that, you dealing with a particular, a man.
Mm-hmm.
Your penis don't make you a man. And what I'm saying is, if you're a man and you dealing with a grown ass woman, you're gonna understand like, yo, we gonna rock together. We gonna do this together. So if you make more money and you're saying, hey, I want you to commit to this, is that, and the third, then you can easily commit to it. It's not a big deal. Now, when terms of submissive comes in, that's when it's really got to be talked about. Like, okay, you make more money than me, but you're gonna still give me the respect that I, quote unquote, run this household. Now, I'm not saying that you gotta walk over the ground. I mean, lay over the ground that I walk over, but at the same time, we gotta understand that it gotta be certain tiers, and that's why I mentioned in the very first one when I was talking about it gotta be that joint understanding. Like, okay, if you're not running downstairs to get the burglar downstairs, and I'm not gonna be huddled up in the room, then let's work on it. Maybe one week I can wash clothes, and then the next week you do dishes or cook and stuff like it gotta be understanding. But the problem is, it's gonna go back to the communication. If the communication is far off, it just ain't gonna work. Period.
So, hopefully, that's not.
I wanted to piggyback off of a comment that also was made, but it's still all relative to this topic. No, I ain't worried. No.
Okay.
The comment is, like I said, isn't relative to what we're talking about. Most women who make good money, a lot of money outside of the home, hold high positions outside of the home in their career. When they come home, they don't want to have to make decisions. They want to be submissive. They want their husband to tell them, babe, what are we doing? Okay, we doing X, Y, Z. Boom, cool. That alleviates the stress out my house when I walk through my door. Me knowing like not me specifically, but knowing what my husband may want, may need, and he telling me what to do, most women, not most, some women is not going to have an issue with that. Because it was a comment made on the last podcast, like basically what I got from it was, you know, they be hard to deal with and, you know, using their money as affluence in a home. But women who do that, who like gotta make major decisions outside of home, don't want to make no decisions in a home. For me personally, I want to come home, I already know what you want, you tell me what to do. I don't want you. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So,
like for me, marriage is a business contract. You know what I'm saying? So everything should be already laid out and understood.
Right.
So, and I feel like when a man says he wants a submissive wife, I don't think a lot of these men think about what are you doing to make her want to be submissive to you.
Whoa.
And a lot of it is a lot of men don't know how to properly treat a woman or date a woman or court a woman or talk to her. They haven't been taught that. So they want all of this luxury and all of this submissiveness, but I want a man to make me, that's my baby, whatever he wants, but that's how he makes me feel. Because it's all about how you make me feel.
Right.
And it don't even have to be top notch, it's how you make me feel.
Right.
So I'm going to do whatever you need because I like the way you make me feel.
Right.
So-
Absolutely. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, no matter to me, how much money a woman makes or the man makes, honestly, especially for women. I'm a woman, so making more money, and I can speak from experience, never made me feel like I was more superior as far as in the household. But I felt like now that I make more money, it should be easier in the household. So, like you said, like when I come home, like everything, I shouldn't even have to be like, oh, well, let's do this, that, and the third. Like, it shouldn't even be, and it doesn't even have to be me making a decision or you make, like, let's make
But
this
my
decision.
thing is, if it's already established, why are we talking about my money? Because my money shouldn't matter if we already have established what your responsibility is and what my responsibility is. And we never have to talk about my money. Because I should be able to do what I want to do with my money as long as my portion or whatever the agreed upon amount is taken care of. And the same on your part. So I'm here to make it easy for us all because I don't want to be stressed out.
Right. How you feel about
Don't
that?
look at me. Kevin over here, he plotting, so let him answer first, and then I'm gonna tap in on what he got to
First
say.
of all, they cheated because they studied before
They
got
definitely
here.
No.
They studied.
I didn't
Yo,
even look
he
at
said
the
listen to the first one.
They studied before they got here, so they know what to say.
How you study?
Oh my God.
Listen, here's the thing, right? I think we missing some things. Like, we
He said,
missed
wait a
something.
minute, one
All right,
plus
Kevin.
one.
It ain't equal to two right now. So we specifically said we're not talking about deadbeats and stuff like that's trying to flip the tax money, right? If you got a solidified man, like you're saying, then it shouldn't matter. Now, y'all speaking from your personal experience. The problem is how many women in the community share that experience because there's brothers out here that we talk to, young brothers that want that, but unfortunately they hear the horror stories, right? So it happens. Huh?
I'm sorry.
Oh, somebody walking. So it happens, but it go both ways because you got on the opposite end, you have women who want to be housewives and you have men that be like, yo, I make this money, I can do what I want. So
Are you saying that things have been established from the jump?
that's everybody's situation with different.
Everybody's
See,
It
that's
should
what,
be-
but
it should
that's
be
what I'm
established.
saying. If it's not established, you're all over the place.
But then, like prime example, like she said, the sister said at first when the sister got married, she was working. Then all of a sudden, the husband switched up and said, "Well, I want you to be a stay-home wife."
Yeah,
But
once
that
she
could be
got
conditional for whatever
promoted.
reason.
But
Yeah.
like
It
you
was
said,
like, oh, no,
conditional,
wait
so
a
that
minute,
means the
right.
contract needs to change. What's
Wow.
your
Well,
expectation of it now?
So you saying that, right? But how many people want to renegotiate that contract?
It has to be renegotiated.
No,
if you
we
saying,
understand that.
Yeah,
How many
But
people
I'm just
wanna do
answering
it?
her question. She said if the husband said, now I want you back home,
Mm-hmm.
that contract needs to be renegotiated because now what are your expectations of me now?
Now that I'm
Absolutely.
in a home,
Right.
So you understand
Right.
it, but a lot of people don't. So when you have people who may not be in those situations like y'all that may be financially stable, if it's certain resources or time allotment that they get, that renegotiating is going to take that away. So you have to be like we talked about since y'all watched the first podcast. It's they study.
I didn't
Y'all
watch
they
the
study.
first.
They
Look,
study.
I only watched the one you said was
That's your home girl. She already told you.
No,
You feel me? Like, we not doing that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, you have this Florentine ain't got no salt and pepper slap across the head. We're not saying that. But if you want to come to the table, you got stuff already conditioned, and y'all got a core. You know, this is what it is. If we go left or right, we're gonna come back in the middle. Then yeah, you can do that. But most of us not doing it.
I'm
Most
sorry.
of us not coming to the table like that.
I mean, I'm
It's a
sorry.
big thing in our community like that.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, if you're asking my opinion, I'm on a show. That's what I would advise people.
Mhm.
You have to you gotta abide by a contract. We all live in a society, everything is contract based, period. I don't know
Till
why
you get
people
married.
don't look at marriage as a contract. It is
Oh yeah,
a
my fault.
contract.
Till you get married and stuff.
Islamically, it's even a contract,
Yeah.
whether it's verbal or written.
Yeah.
So it's an understanding.
Y'all better write it down.
You
But
better write it down. I
I'm,
recommend you to write it down.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. I'm curious to know though, real quick, and then we're gonna go to another question. What's one of, you don't have to give us a specific story, but just something to give us an understanding of what a horror story would be. And this, you said y'all hear horror stories about this topic.
I think we all had horror stories out every last one of them.
I mean,
I
I've heard some
mean-
horror stories.
About you mean the times and stuff like that changing?
Or you
Not even no.
Or just people masks falling off and stuff like that.
No, not even that. To the sister not being submissive and the money changing. Like, yeah, what would be the horror? Because is it that the sister is now being superior and now trying to take over the household? Is
me
that
personally, I haven't been in that situation.
no? I'm not saying
But
you have.
I've seen it.
No, I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
I think that when it comes to those kind of issues like that, I think what happens is sisters will jump in these relationships, and the whole time, these guys will become flaky. They want to do like big time gaming, or they want to do other stuff, and they flake out.
Yeah.
So the sister, quite naturally, she got to step up to the plate.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the problem right now. A lot of the women got to step up to the plate, but that's only because, or some women rather, but that's only because they're dealing with these soft ass men. That's what the problem is. Like, they dealing with these soft
That's
dudes,
true.
and the sisters got to then in turn step up to the plate. Like, me personally, I'm gonna get out there and hustle. That's right. I'm gonna get out there and work. I ain't got no problem working.
We know, Johnny. We know.
But on the other foot, you got sisters with that same energy, and unfortunately, these brothers gonna go back to the put your foot in the ass, messing up the egg Florentine brothers.
Okay.
They come and they present this who I am. Unfortunately, your sisters get bamboozled. Same thing with some brothers; they get hoodwinked too, and they be thinking that what they're getting is this, and then the return is really not. Brothers be real live bums out here, like. And I'm not saying we don't fall short, but a lot of times that's what put these sisters in these positions where they got to go out there and they got to work hard. They got to step up to the plate because you slacking. It's not like, yo, I'm gonna bust my ass so that I can push you to that level of achievement for our benefit. A lot of times, brothers be slacking.
I agree with that. You know, I agree with that. But there are some sisters. There are some sisters who are willingly wanting to go out here and work and willingly wanting to, like, they actually have like career goals, and this is what they want to do. It's not that they have to do it, but
so it's sisters out there looking for husbands. Y'all looking for? I'm just saying.
See, here's the house husbands. So here's the
did I say that? That's what I said. Okay, because I don't think that's what I said.
Here's the thing, though, right? Like, opposites attract. So unfortunately, a lot of times we get people that's career oriented. They can be friends, compadres, all that, but they not in relationships together.
Right.
A lot of times, they get in the brothers that's going to be bums and not really hustle. Brothers get the sisters that don't really want to do that. So you end up, I use the analogy when we talk all the time, right? Like, you got a car, you got a flat tire. How many times you going to keep trying to drive until all your tires flat? So essentially, you can't really go nowhere with a flat tire, so how you going to do it with 2, 3, or 4? So like he's saying, you got to start, as we get older, I'm pretty sure, I'm in my 40s, so closer to 40.
Man, just bring your ass across the camera. God damn, we on live. You crawling and stuff. Just come on and get it over with. Come on, just come across. We on live, baby. You messing it up. Imani, by the way. That's right. She don't need no announcement.
You are so rude.
Yo, you are out of control.
So basically, a lot of times,
Somebody gotta
right,
help
as we
me.
get older, like they saying, y'all represent a portion of the community that's already seen some nightmares and stuff like that.
What the niggas is knocking down the cameras, walking past the cameras. We got drawers all in the camp. Pull your pants up. It is pandemonium this evening, girls.
So a lot of stuff, like I feel like all of us been here. We getting close to our 40s, right? We already seen some nightmares in the community, in our situations or community 25 and under.
Okay.
So y'all represent a portion of the community where it's like, yo, I'm already solidified. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. Then we can build off of that. A lot of people coming into these situations, like we talked about on podcast number 1, a lot of these young brothers, they don't really get financially stable and know where they're going until they start hitting their early to mid 30s. Y'all come out, you feel me? No disrespect to no women. Y'all come out, as soon as y'all can push a baby out, y'all like hot shit. You feel me? Like everybody on y'all. Y'all get to a sexual peak before we do. Then it's like, all right, now I done went through some things, I can kind of pull back. Why you smiling?
I'm just listening to you.
Oh, I mean,
You was smiling the whole time she was talking. Don't do it like
I
that.
smile when I'm nervous, but I'm saying, like,
okay.
when you look at it, y'all reach a sexual peak and success before we do. We don't really start coming to that until like our 30s. So now, because you, no shade at nobody, but because you went through things, you know what you want. Most of these sisters don't know what they want because, for whatever reason, experience is the best teacher. When they go through, got Michael Myers coming down?
No.
All right, I'm just saying.
You know, say
Now,
Michael
Yo,
Myers.
I say
the
the
camera
boost
done
coming
been
down.
knocked.
So,
You might as well
Like,
just
noise done
bring
been
it
made.
through.
you
Bring
good,
it
just
through.
you good. So like when you go through them nightmares, right? Experience is the best teacher. But how do you react to the situation, right? Do you keep going through the same cycles over and over? Or you say, yo, I gotta get my stuff together. Like a lot of us, even men, we not coming to the table with degrees, you know, business oriented stuff like that. Some brothers got it, some don't. But we need to get more people into those fields. Like in the Muslim community, you have a lot of brothers that want to be entrepreneurs, but then they can't really do it. So then they struggle.
I think that some brothers need to also take accountability for their part in what they're not doing to be successful. Because you said, did you say that men aren't usually successful until they like 35? Because I'm not finding that. I'm
not
finding
gonna
much
say they're not
older.
successful, but if you look at it outside of Islamic, this kind of falls in us outside of Islam, right? If you go to other communities, a lot of them young bucks, they, you know, 18 on up, them Indo-Paks, they got their families together.
Of course,
Indians,
that's
Asians,
a different culture.
different
so
culture.
Yeah.
In our community, yeah, a lot of us not getting ourselves together until we hit like 30. Like even myself, I ain't go back to school till like 28.
And what I'm saying is, I'm seeing a lot of older brothers still trying to get themselves together, but you want a submissive wife.
So yeah, that's the point. Like you not learning from your mistakes. Like I know you're a little older than me, but I don't know your age. But using your age, she has
She's
to.
still young
y'all
though.
All right, so
same
look
age.
at we same age.
No,
No,
you're
I'm
not.
joking.
Oh, I mean, I'm
She's
don't
listen. I'm pretty much 40 with a ball spot, so I don't care.
Jolly, shut
Listen,
up.
she's up there, but you know she's still seeking.
Jolly.
And ready. The sister's still looking.
So cool,
She
right?
ready.
Let's
But
just
don't
say
bring no bums.
for
Hold on,
conversation-
take 5. Let me put this out there real quick. The sister's still looking, all right? But she ain't looking for no bums. She got a business and all that. I'm trying to tell you right now. She got a business, so if you come in, she want the people to come correct. You know what I mean? Yeah, I ain't saying what she driving and all that other stuff. I'm just saying, come correct.
Jolly.
She
They
looking
know.
at about the
No.
50 plus over crew. Damn near. Her AARP is on back order.
No.
So I say that right. So let's just say
Listen, you have the right.
Off the chain.
If you need to step across this, you have the right, because this brother is out of control.
I'm sorry.
Go
You
ahead,
all
Nine.
into your
No, I'm just saying.
statement.
So like, let's just say
Keep it
everybody at the table just 40 for conversation purposes, right? So those older brothers that's coming, how many of them are homeowners? How many of them got a 401k? How many got investments? How many of them got a will to leave to their kids to inherit and stuff like that, right? So when you talking about they want a submissive wife, you right. You can require that your man have these things because it's intuitive for the success of your relationship. But the problem is, as individuals, what are we doing with these situations?
So I have a question. So
Interesting.
this is something that women can think about. Does being submissive equates to what a man brings to the table? Does it mean that you have to make a certain amount of money or be an entrepreneur or do these things in order for you to be submissive in your home?
No,
See, for me, I feel like once again it goes back to the agreed upon. What's agreed upon?
But in your opinion, what is,
That's true because you respect me.
well, you already kind
I
of
already
said
said,
it.
yeah,
you
I already said
it.
what it is for me.
I think sisters gotta. I think this is the way some of these brothers carry themselves too. You know, if you no different than is a thing of in order to get respect, you gotta give it. So I almost look at that as that because, like I said in the very first one that I was talking about, some brothers unfortunately they're under the notion that when the sun go down, you can't be outside, but I can be outside. Nah, it actually works both ways. When the sun go down, you gotta go in the house too. So I feel like, you know, when you talk about that submissiveness and stuff like that, I think it just gotta be, it's a level of respect. Some sisters, y'all know that y'all gonna say, okay, I'm gonna give this dude this kind of respect. Even if how he approach you is messed up, you know you gonna give him this level of respect or that level of respect. Some men don't command that. You have to command that. Like, that's part of what being an alpha is. Like, you gotta be that person. But you also can't be overly aggressive about it. Like, I'm gonna take that. Like, you gotta be humble.
Because some men feel like they're alpha you gonna do what I say,
Yeah.
and that's
Right.
it, that's all. And it's overly aggressive. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's too
I
much.
think
I
that's why
can't be
puts that-
submissive to that. That doesn't
Right.
register.
So-
that.
And that's
It's
why
going
I
it's
want
going to
some
immediately like be
Yeah.
combative. Like it's not
Mhm.
going to work. You're not going to be able to have a good household in that way. And I
Exactly.
think because that image is also put out there to the world, a lot of people when they come and ask me questions about Islam and being married, when they talk about the men, they say the submissive part like, oh well, I couldn't be submissive, and I heard that your husband can beat on you. I heard you have to walk 3 steps behind the husband. Why you making that face? But
Shout
the
out-
husband,
I heard it.
the
Shout out
husband,
to Philly.
the husband
It's
cannot.
just
Right,
ignorant.
Right,
Shout
but
out to
that's
Philly.
but that's not. No, we're not gonna. But that's not
That's that
true,
thing.
right, brothers?
So, well, I've heard that before.
I know, but that okay. Well, brother Naeem, because we know you the knowledge. Not that you're not knowledgeable.
I mean, I don't care.
I don't
He
know.
got, he got certificates underneath
Okay.
his belt. He
Okay,
is
Islamically,
running up
can
and
a
shit,
husband
yeah.
beat his wife?
yo, Naeem.
Answer that with wisdom, please.
For
Yeah.
God's
Right,
sake.
she's like,
For
if you
God's
talking
sake.
about how everybody domestic violence, no.
Period.
All right.
But they,
So it's settled. Ain't nobody
Yeah, but-
saying that
But
men
what
can
they
beat
talking
their
about
wives.
beating is like admonishing with light words and stuff, like, you know, trying to counsel, not like physically punching somebody in the face
Right.
without going on in details.
Some brothers think that.
They gonna take it literally, yeah. But
Okay,
here's the
so-
thing, I got a question for y'all, right? When y'all talking about submission, without being overly emotional, can you articulate to your husband how to be better communicated with you so you can submit versus beating him down like he a child or, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of women, a lot of us women, I'm gonna say us women, dang,
Okay.
a lot of,
It's
a
2025.
lot of,
I understand.
yeah, absolutely. A lot of women, they have this misconception that you gotta treat a man like a child. So the thing is, how do you reverse that so he can listen? Because if you start yelling at me like my mother, I'm gonna shut down. I don't care. My mother don't even talk to me.
Well,
Like that.
that's after it's already at a certain point. I'm gonna tell a man all day long how to treat me and how to talk to me.
From the
And from
But I'm saying,
from the very
can
first.
it?
I was be like, yo, you gotta chill, man. You gotta chill. Seriously. You gotta chill, man. Is it,
That's
you
all
know
I
I
got.
can see stuff from my
Okay.
watch. Yeah,
Oh,
you got
okay.
my stuff open, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying.
But we gonna
Okay,
move
but
on.
I just want to let's just so let's move on. But what you guys did not
Yikes.
answer, because we're gonna move on to the sisters. Y'all give us 3 ingredients, just 3,
Okay.
3 characteristics, because the ingredients are the characteristics
Understood.
of a good Muslim husband.
I appreciate that.
I'll let you go first.
I appreciate that.
You know you on a timer, Jolly.
Oh, now you starting the timer when I come on? Ain't that about a? All right, so no, real
Got to
talk.
press it before.
Teamwork, communication,
Mhm.
whatever that may mean to whoever, teamwork or whatever,
Mhm.
and then the communication, and then that willingness to be patient. Like that's important to me. Everything else I can really get over. I mean, I enjoy a fluffy, quality towel too.
Okay.
I believe
I enjoy
You gave
quality
3.
towels.
Okay.
it's been a
I
long,
do
it's
like
been a
that.
long day.
So
I
you
just-
You ain't wrapped up with those towels,
so
they
you
get,
enjoy
you know,
okay, so a quality for you, a characteristic is a sister that can provide some clean quality towels.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. All right, Naeem,
What's the question?
just give me 3
Three what?
ingredients of a good Muslim wife. What are the characteristics?
I already did that.
We ending this. This is what this
Oh,
whole thing. That's why we
Damn.
want to
I'm
end
gonna
it.
do that thing and start, trashing you.
Oh yeah, I mean, we talking about being a team player,
Okay.
having foresight to see the whole picture,
Mhm.
and being obedient, or should I say,
Whoa.
be in compliance with whatever y'all. I don't want to say obedient, submissive, but be compliant with whatever y'all agree. Whatever y'all agree to, we all gotta comply to it. I'll say that.
Okay.
All right.
And
now we done.
that was a goal. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Now, so, because this definitely going to go into a part 2, because now we're going to talk about, we're going to start it over. No, we ain't run all the way over. But, so we're talking about the ingredients to the recipe of a good Muslim husband. And it's so wonderful that we have
Did your
these
voice
sisters
just
here.
change it up?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It
Oh,
definitely
okay.
did.
I feel like it did.
Absolutely.
Being sweet to the sister.
All right, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, being all nice. She was telling the brothers all aggressive. So hold up, John Lee. I need it. And I'm like, oh, sis, you ain't in me like.
I see where
But
it is.
I'm gonna let you
Because
be
this how the sisters need you to handle them, gentle, with care.
Is that right?
Okay. We
No,
on the
Yeah,
same.
she just not that aggression. You know, it's not.
So we
it's
should
not
have
24.
popped out when she was by herself.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Well, look, I got backup today. So, what are the ingredients? What are the ingredients? What do you think one of the first characteristics of a good Muslim husband would be?
First and foremost, you gotta feel love. Like you gotta feel love. We gonna
Hey,
start with
put some checks in that. 'Cause we gotta come back to that.
You gotta feel love.
Some checks on that.
You gotta be a Muslim man that is a practicing Muslim man.
With
and
proper
foremost.
adab.
Whoa. Okay. Hey, check on it.
So I put in the promo. Did I send it to you?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm saying it well. In the promo, I put today like what makes a Muslim husband? What makes him Muslim? Because some people think, no shade to anyone, but some people think that because they took their shahada, they're Muslim. So, what makes a Muslim husband?
You asked me what
makes him Muslim? What makes him a Muslim husband? Other than just the shahada. Yeah.
Oh, so what else? To
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah.
Oh, God fearing, like I said, you have to be a provider. I want a provider. Most women want a provider. Whatever that may entail, whatever you agree upon, that's between, individuals. But a provider. And one more. Generous. Right? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was generous. He was God fearing. He was a provider. Okay? So for me, and not just generous in talking about financial stability, but talking about with your emotions, with your time, with your energy, how you deal with me, with your children. It's a little bit more deeper than financial stability.
Absolutely.
So for me, those are the 3 top qualities.
And I feel like a man should be gentle as well.
Gentle. Well, you gonna give us 2 more?
I ain't gonna give y'all 2 more.
I ain't gonna give y'all 2 more. Okay, and what I meant by the question of like what makes him a Muslim husband, other than him just taking his shahada, like are there requirements? And I guess I'll bring it to y'all because they gave us that 3. Are there requirements of a Muslim man to his wife? Like what are his duties to his wife that are from a Muslim man?
I'm gonna swap it over here to Kevin.
What?
I mean, because I don't want to give my opinion and I somebody torch my truck when I go outside, so I'm going to let you hit that.
What's the question?
Yeah, he need to repeat that.
I need to hear this.
Okay.
I don't like how they said this.
People up here talking about we not tongue tied, okay?
What is a good Muslim husband?
Slow down.
Yeah, I'm like maybe I should word it differently.
So-
maybe that was too much.
You saying what's the characteristics?
Yeah, like what are the characteristics of a good Muslim husband?
There are some. Unfortunately, it's not talked about because in our community, a lot of stuff is based around, like you said, providing, right? So, unfortunately, a lot of our communities on both sides is based around the money. But if you take the money away, she has a good point about like practicing.
Can I ask something?
Nah, I ain't done yet. So practicing, that's one. A lot of us do lack the emotional intelligence to be in these relationships, but that's a deeper conversation. I feel like it go back to communication, and you gotta have a game plan. Like the husband is like the CEO of an enterprise. If you put him ahead of your affairs, you gotta have a game plan. Now you can help him and assist, but you gotta fall in line with what he doing because you may not see the bigger picture. And he's gonna make decisions based off of logic, not your feelings.
And that's how you command respect from having a game plan and following through with your game
But
plan.
the sisters gotta see it too.
Well, yeah,
They
you
gotta-
gotta
they
allow
gotta
us
see
to
it.
see it too. You gotta trust the process.
Oh, okay. On that note, I'm about to.
Why? You
Understand
gotta
the
trust the
assignment,
process.
brother.
You gotta. I mean, so here's the thing. I hear what you're saying, but you gotta understand. A lot of people who may be watching this are not in the age group where they can have this conversation. So
They'll get there one day, inshallah.
yeah, we don't need them to get
Lead-
one day.
That's
we
the
we
point
need
of
them
the-
now.
that's the
Well,
point
lead
of
them.
the
You gotta
podcast,
lead
right?
them. You gotta lead them. Exactly.
I like how y'all did that.
You do.
They
Yeah.
put a lot of
Just saying, can
responsibility
I ask you
on
something
us.
though?
What's up?
What's 3 good qualities about you as a husband?
Hot seat.
No, I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
You
Shay.
should be able to just spit them out.
No, I can't. Cause I'm gonna be real. If you ask me, I suck as a husband.
Really?
But from whose perspective?
Yeah.
Mine. I'm my
Okay,
own worst critic.
alhamdulillah.
I'm not emotional. I lack emotional intelligence, like meaning I don't care about your feelings.
Oh.
I care, but then I don't. I know. That's what I'm saying. It's
So,
deep. It's deep.
So let me ask you this. So if you lack emotion, right, and you don't give a so-and-so about
It's
someone's feelings, how do you expect a marriage to survive or prosper?
I don't know.
Like keeping it real.
I don't know.
So
But
and
it's not that
now
I
I
don't
did
care.
hold
It's not
on
that I don't
though.
care, though.
So I did hear Jolly in the part that I listened to saying he didn't want an expensive prostitute at home. So basically, if you don't have any emotion or whatever, is that all you looking for? Because I mean, it is permissible to marry for sex,
No,
but I think you should keep it real though.
I would say, in the context when I say I don't care, it means I know how to cut off emotion and focus on the business side, the logical side. And a lot of us men, it's not that we don't care, but we, like the sister said, she don't want to come home and make decisions. We always make decisions. We never get a break from making decisions. So it's like, I know how to be like, yo, bump your feelings. We got to do this to get to this result.
Let me ask you this: could you deal with an alpha woman as a wife?
I don't know. I ain't never been in that situation personally. Now I can tell you
Can
when
you
I wasn't
like, if
Muslim,
you thought about it, like, do you think?
man, I'm still figuring myself out. I'm finally in therapy and all that, but I ain't totally healed yet. But I can't tell you that. I can tell you before I was Muslim, I dealt with some people that was kind of like competing to be the top spot, and it ain't work out.
Well, when I say alpha woman, I'm not even talking about somebody that's competing. Some women are alpha. Like I'm an alpha woman. I already know that about myself. That's something that I had to learn about myself. But that doesn't make me a bad woman. I'm so independent that it has put me in a place of being alpha. Because I had to take care of myself. I had to be in survival mode.
That's
You know.
Do you feel like that has worked against you?
Somewhat. I think that for me personally, I think that, so the way I look at situations, and I guess I think some men should look at it too, because I think some men are not living in the reality, because I think that you should choose your spouse according to your caliber. And the caliber, that's just how I feel. I feel like a lot of brothers are looking for this top tier caliber woman, but they right here. And because they see them, they speak so highly of themselves, they don't really get that they're here. But they really here. And it's not that you beneath me, but I feel like, and then you have brothers that so quick to say what they're not going to do. I feel like you should marry somebody that's of your caliber.
I think that's the same thing with women too.
Yeah.
Because a lot
And
of
for
times we
me,
don't.
yeah. And for me,
don't.
like, I am at a point in my life where I do have some things going on. And I need somebody that can, like, I am the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you sit at my table? You can pull up. You can add to my table. I can add to yours.
Right.
But I'm not going to no longer have a table because you came into play.
I just saw.
So that goes both
So
ways.
wait a
too,
minute.
for men, too.
So to end it, I'm saying I have to be real with myself to say, are you in the caliber of a man that you need to be in, or are you downgrading just to say you want to be married? Are you
Right.
downplaying certain things?
So wait, now let me just say this, because I just watched this podcast where the man was saying exactly what you just said, and we as women fall short because we make that statement. And I was curious to even, like, for myself, even just understanding, how do you not have that attitude? You know what I mean? I get not saying it. I get, like, maybe we need to watch our mouth a little bit. You know what I'm saying? When we're going and having these conversations with, you know, a man or a woman that we, you know, whatever, however you want to do it. But when you're having a conversation, not saying, like, listen, I am the table, is you going to, because that may be too aggressive. And then that may.
But I don't say
may push
that.
them-
I'm saying it on this platform.
No, I get what you're saying, but that's what he was saying. He
Yeah.
said, like, a lot of women are quick to say, I am the table. But if you are the table, and if you're making me feel like you are the table, you don't need me, then why am I going to want
But
to
see,
come?
I don't feel like that. I need a man.
Right.
and
so
I
I'm
wanna-
like, what is the middle?
So
What
let
is
me
the middle
correct
area for
myself.
us?
So yeah, I need a man for different reasons.
Right.
I don't need a man to take care of me. I would like a man to take care of me, but I don't
Right.
need a man to take care of me. So
Right.
I'm already an established woman that already knows what I want. I already had my whole career, my
Right.
whole life going on. Like I said, that's why I highlighted the way you make me feel.
Right.
Because you might not necessarily, I might not necessarily need you to do all of this for me.
Right.
But I might need you to cater to my emotion and make me feel good.
Right.
And that may be enough for me.
Yeah.
So everything is situational. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I have to keep going back to the contract. I might not need a brother to take care of all of my bills. I might not even be looking for that. But I might need you to pay this because this is what we talked about.
Right.
But you can't spin off from, say for an example, you said you was going to pay $2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, baby, I ain't got it this month. Nah, that ain't gonna work for me because I gotta have it every month.
Right.
So, because I take care of myself, I can't really keep taking shorts from a man. I'm not in that place no more.
Right.
So it's either you gonna pull up and we gonna go ahead and expand this table together, or you can go ahead and stay where you at, respectfully.
So I'm just.
They did a lot of studying.
So I'm just
I
curious.
made so many talking points from last week.
I ain't gonna say nothing else.
So, so when you saying that if he say he gonna commit to that, and then for whatever reason he can't, or, you know, for whatever reason he constantly comes up short or whatever, what are you? Because you said you, right?
Mhm.
What are you giving back for, hypothetically speaking? Because I'm poor, I can only afford $50 a month. Any sisters interested? Let me know. So for you, what is it that what's coming back from that? Like what's that ROR?
Whatever we agree to. So if I'm interested in you and we talking, you're gonna tell me what you expect back from me, or expect from me, and I have to hold my end of the bargain as well. It's not a one-sided situation. So I'm gonna bring it just like I expect you to bring it. If I fall short, that's a problem for you.
So now, with that being said, if you fall short, then what? Do we...
See, I'm a hustler just like you said you was. I'm gonna get that money. So, or whatever we said, I'm gonna get that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my word. Like I gotta hold up to what I said I'm gonna do. Just like I expect. If I have high expectations for my husband, I understand that you have high expectations for me as well, and I don't want to let you down, boy.
Yeah. So that's why you have to do exactly what you just said and marry the same caliber of, because and I was asking you that, like, speaking about that other podcast and bringing that back up, because I want this to be informational to everybody, but especially because we're speaking about the sisters right now. To sisters to understand, like, maybe there's a different way we can come to the table and say it. Like, maybe we don't gotta be like so aggressive with it, or maybe we don't gotta make a man feel a little less than when we letting them know, like, listen, this is what it is. Even with the contract, like, you know, look, this is what the contract is. Like, listen, but understand, this contract is being made. I need to make sure this contract is being made by somebody that understands. Like, listen, it ain't no I ain't got it. It ain't no that's not even on the table. I ain't got it.
A lot of sisters go. A lot of brothers are giving sisters verbal contracts, and then when you go and play that contract back, oh man, I don't remember saying that. I thought it was this, but you don't have nothing written down to go back to.
So
to
then
even
how do
bring,
you fix that though?
You gotta write it at that time. Let's go ahead and make one.
Immediately.
With the Wali?
With whoever, yeah, we need to be somebody that is gonna witness. Yeah.
Are sisters actually willing to go back and renegotiate that contract?
I feel like everything need to be renegotiated. I feel like you
If
should
it's
check
not
the
on paper.
temperature of your wife every now and then too.
And that's all
Babe,
you
what
check
I'm
the
doing
temperature of your
wrong?
marriage.
Is there anything I can improve on throughout the relationship? Like, it should be some temperature checks going on. Because, you know, ideally when you get married, you want to keep your marriage.
And people change and grow also
Yeah.
in marriage.
So-
Nobody stays the same.
Exactly. Just like your iman, your faith goes up and down.
Hold
So let's
on.
get this thing back on track. Same thing
Hold
with
on.
marriage.
You said what now?
People grow and change in marriage.
In what sense?
In a lot of senses.
Bad or
Emotionally,
good or bad.
yeah.
So if the other person doesn't change, then what?
I mean,
We
they
need
just
to-
don't. I mean,
I'm
that's a
asking
conversation.
based off your...
That's a conversation that could be had.
We need to renegotiate some.
We need to
Yeah.
renegotiate. I love this
But I'm just saying, like, people
Like,
grow individually as
just
human
saying.
beings.
No,
Period.
I'm saying,
Yeah, as period. So
Yeah, some people outgrow each other.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some people lose interest.
Right.
What
They
are you
do.
gonna do?
And if you lose interest, having that conversation is important. I think a lot of the issues come when you don't have the conversation. When it's just swept
keep it
under the
bottled
rug
up, yeah.
and you keep on just like, okay, well, I'm gonna set this aside. I'm not gonna say it right now. I'm not gonna say it right now. And for women who are alpha women, we might not say it. You might not say it a couple times, but once you do say it, you saying it with blows. You know what I mean? I'm not even saying physically, but with blows, because you're built up. You know what I mean? So I think the communication is definitely like the key ingredient to making sure, you know, that contract, that marriage, that relationship, that friendship, all of that like stays healthy. So if you do grow apart, if you do feel like one person is growing, the other person is not, then that's a conversation you need to go sit down and have.
Really?
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's very interesting.
It-
Do we have
I
another
didn't expect
question?
this. I didn't expect this.
You
Did
didn't
wanna
expect
ask
this.
Sierra to jump in and
Okay. Let me see. What was okay.
I'm
Where
here.
is
I got time today.
you must don't have me I'm using Jolly's phone, everybody.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I can't get cold. And I'm always
There's a promotion on.
And
Yes.
it's
Sorry.
funny.
cold by the hand lotion.
Okay, I'm just saying because I did and I feel very, warm.
Okay, hold on.
I feel very cuddly.
You feel very
What time is it
7:49.
Okay, so can a Muslim husband dictate what their wives do and how they live their life and spend their money?
To a degree, yes. Islamically, from a Islamic perspective, we don't call it spade a spade, yes.
What was the question?
Islamically,
What was-
yeah.
Say that a little
She's-
louder for the sisters in the back, please.
Yeah. What was the question?
Can
Say
a
that-
can
say
a
that a little
Muslim
louder.
husband dictate what his wife does and how she spends her money?
And what was your response?
Speaking to the mic.
You can say it.
She said, yeah, we gonna call it spade a spade.
We need Sierra to say that one more time.
Coming from an Islamic perspective,
She made that clear.
I can't speak on a financial aspect. If that's just to making her own money, I am not speaking on that. I don't know. I'm going to say that.
Okay.
But in regards to the first part of the question, yes. A man, because it's, repeat the question again.
Can a Muslim husband
That's right.
dictate
Yeah,
how
right.
his
You
wife
need my
lives
wife.
her life?
To a degree, yeah. So prime example. So say you're married and you want to do something that's kind of out of the fold of Islam or out of what a Muslim should be doing. Your husband can check you on that and tell you, no, you can't do that. And Islamically, you have to kind of abide by that because what he's calling you to do is the good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. I'm great going, but
That question was a loaded question, huh?
and it
wasn't
really
that simple
is.
at first.
And it's not. But I'm not gonna speak on our financial part,
Okay.
because I'm gonna go into my opinion.
Okay.
But speaking from an Islamic perspective,
I try to push the questions that people been inboxing me. I try to
Mhm.
push it into like a one box because it's so
Yeah,
many,
it's a-
and it's
yeah.
like I don't want to sit here. But basically, that question stemmed. Well, a part of that question, as far as the financial aspect, stemmed from a sister saying that her husband is telling her that Islamically, her money is her money, but he expects her still to help pay bills. And she was like, well, you say
but then,
Islamically,
like
my
she
money
goes back
is
to
my
the
money.
question: was a contract written? Was
Right.
these things discussed in the beginning of the marriage? There shouldn't be any switching up in the middle of the marriage unless a life-changing thing happens, right?
Mhm.
He may lose his job. Say he's a 1099 worker. He lost a contract.
Okay.
Things happens in a marriage. Certain things, and I feel like sometimes we don't do as Muslims. We do not sit down in the beginning when you're courting, sitting down or whatever you want to call it, have tough, real life, conversations.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you straight now. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 15 years. Any brother that I'm interested in marrying, I'm telling them now, I'm never gonna stop working. This is a career that I built
Mm-hmm.
with my blood, sweat, and tears.
Okay, y'all hear that, brothers?
I'm not a stay-home wife. Now I can assist you in other areas,
Mm-hmm.
but for me, my career is not up for debate, question,
Mm-hmm.
any of that, because I work too hard to get to where I am.
Absolutely.
So for me, I'm letting that known from the door.
From the jump.
Either you can rock with it or you can. And if you can, it's okay.
Right.
You
right.
know. So
So you're saying from the door, it's not even up for debate. So that shouldn't be a
It's not up for
conversation
debate.
that we even need to have down the
Yeah.
line. Like,
And
and
I-
if you change and you feel like, well, now I want my wife at home. No, that's not. We already have that contract. I love that
And
part.
to keep it personal, I've ran into situations where it changes. They get comfortable. They know what it felt like to come home. You got dinner cooked, house clean.
Mhm.
I want you home. Well, according to the conversation that we had, I understand. Maybe I can adjust my schedule a little bit more.
Mhm.
Maybe we can meet each other in halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't stopped working.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's my money. I like to make my own money, and I like
Right.
to spend my own money in the way that I see fit.
Right.
So discussions just need to be had from the beginning.
So you okay with him doing the same thing?
As far as what?
Working?
We work.
Oh.
Long as you still have to make time for one another. Both couples can't just be we working. So how do you build on your relationship?
Well,
How
that
do you
means
sustain?
somebody got to make a sacrifice coming in the door.
Both people need to make a sacrifice.
Okay.
Yeah. And then everybody can meet each other halfway.
Jolly, you don't talk with any togetherness at all. You just talk as a single man sometimes. Like when you give examples, it's always like it comes across as if it's one-sided.
Or maybe it's coming off from my perspective, and then the stories that I've heard being unfortunate in the position that I'm in the community. That's a possibility. So I'm speaking based off of other people. Now, my personal experience, I did talk about some of those other week. Maybe you weren't here for it, and that's very unfortunate.
I did say in the
Okay.
beginning that I didn't listen
Okay.
to the whole
That's very unfortunate. However,
episode.
to be clear, I, not really sure why it's coming off like that. If people are bothered by the way that my
I didn't say
responses
nothing
are,
about being
I
bothered.
really don't care.
Well, we know you don't care, and I didn't say anything about being
But
bothered.
again, I am legitimately giving responses based off of what I've seen, what I've dealt with, and then unfortunately being in the position that I'm in, things come across me more than a little bit. It's very unfortunate. I have to call other people up to get their advice on how to handle or how to deal with certain things because I'm not extremely knowledgeable when it comes to the dean. So I'm giving things based off of experience, and then I'm giving things based off of the things that was presented to me. So if it's presented to me and I'm going back like, oh, okay, it's this, that, and the third, then that's what I'm going to base it off of. Like, not really sure why it's coming off like that. And if it is, then, again, that's very
That's
unfortunate.
okay.
It's a matter of perspective, too. Like, everybody has their own perspective on things, One could, say that about you, How could you give marriage advice?
I've had that conversation with my dear friend here before I even came.
Did you?
Yeah,
And what was that like?
it was very well.
Was
Went
it?
well. Went very well.
Oh, okay. So,
Just because people might not have certain experiences.
Because I'm not giving advice on what someone should do. I'm just
no, you're
telling
giving
you
your own opinion.
my opinion and what I would like from a spouse. Just like you shouted out on there that I'm single.
Yeah. I gotta put that out there
I'll let you
because
go.
I gotta put that out there because alhamdulillah, you're a good sister, and never want to see. I would legitimately want for myself. Like I'm not the kind of guy. Like if it's something that I want, whatever the case may be, like I wanted people to succeed because that's what we should be at in heart. Like.
Right. So that's why I pose certain questions on you because I do love you and I do want to see you succeed. So I just be giving my opinion on what I see for a possibility for you to kind of look at it in a different lens.
Shift my word.
Thought process.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nah, I'm good.
Oh my goodness. And I think it is really good to hear both perspectives. I think it's good to hear from someone who isn't married as well as hearing from someone who is married because there are a lot of sisters, I believe, that aren't married. My daughter's being one of them that are looking to get married but are trying to understand like, well, what should I be expecting? How should I be? And that's why I love the advice of the contract part because I want them to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
I want them, and I want everybody to be successful. Okay, I ain't just gonna make it on my babies, but I want people who even watch this, I had somebody message me on YouTube from another country and say that she just got married and she was lost. She was confused as to what she's supposed to do because she's new to Islam and she just got married. So
Kudos to
she
you.
was like,
Kudos. To
no,
you.
not to me. What? Oh, for her messaging me. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, but
shit.
she it was the first show, and so she was looking at Jolly's perspective. But no, she was saying like having this platform to be able to hear from people was important for her. She was like, I didn't know this existed. So now that it exists, being able to hear different people's perspective, whether you married, you divorced, or you're married, never been married, either way, you have a perspective and you have questions and you have experiences, and all of that matters. All of that's valid.
I got a question to pose. Sitting here in this, Sierra Imani. Just like, what do you? So I heard you talk about, like what you're kind of like looking for and stuff like that, or what your opinion of a good Muslim man is. I'm just curious, whatever. So, what would you? No, let me take that back. I'll save that for another time.
Mm.
How does a woman, in your opinion, yours too, sister? I know you looking, but still, you still a sister. How do you determine? I'm gonna be me. How do you determine what makes you or individual a good wife from your perspective? Now, not saying from your experience. I'm just saying from a woman's perspective. Like, how can a woman determine that she's a good wife?
First of all, you gotta know who you are as a woman.
Okay.
You have to know who you are.
Confidence.
I'm just being
No.
real. You have to know who you are.
Confidence.
Okay.
You have to know who you are as a woman, as a Muslim, period. A lot of people out here lost, still trying to find themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why sometimes women make mistakes in marriages.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the first and foremost thing. I'm not going to talk specifically on what makes me a good wife or what makes me a good woman or whatever, but because I know I am.
Period.
But I'm a damn good wife.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna toot my own.
Right. Hey.
But that's not from my own perspective. That's from what I've heard.
Right.
That's from what I've heard. I'm not
Yeah.
speaking off my own what I feel about myself.
Yeah.
So, I just think women just gotta know who they are,
Yeah.
and then they can go based upon, that. I don't know.
Imani, care to chime in on that? Because I've heard that before. Where it doesn't matter, whether it's private, personal, whatever, it doesn't matter. I've heard that before, and I'm like, okay, well, because I'm a POS, I'm not a good guy, I'm not a good husband, I'm fine with that, let me just be with myself. So I'm saying this, I'm in therapy, don't worry. So I'm saying,
With me.
I'm just trying to figure out so, and it's not to you particular. I've heard that what you said, alhamdulillah, that's what you are, alhamdulillah. I've heard someone make the statement that I've been told this. And I'm like, so then, does that mean
that they're a
been told-
good Muslim wife?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
Is
saying
it
to
across
you?
the board?
No, are
I
you
don't
asking me
know
what is the
you,
quality?
man.
What are the qualities of a good Muslim woman?
No, I'm asking you, the first question I asked was, what makes, how can a sister say I'm a good wife?
Oh, okay. So.
But then
okay.
I felt like you answered it, which I believe you did. And then, when you was tooting, you made that statement. And I'm not saying that that's an incorrect statement for you.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying what gives a brother the right to validate that and say, okay, this is a good sister. Because I believe, just like myself, talking about me personally now, I believe I'm a good dude. I believe as a husband I have things to work on. However, I can sit here and say exactly what you did, what you said. I know I got some shit with me like we all do, but I know that, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I just poke my chest out. But as far as when somebody come to you and say that, you're a good woman, you're a good wife, well, what are they basing it off of? Because just like another guy, I don't know how many times you've been married, Don't care how many times you
But
get
I
married.
think it can only be
But-
based off of that individual that told you that.
So does
Because
it mean
someone else may
Right.
think that
Yeah.
I'm not a good wife.
Right.
So from his perspective,
She can keep
she's
her own.
she continued
Yeah.
on. So
Yeah.
everybody, maybe everybody told her across the board. I don't know, but I'm just
Right.
saying, in reality, everybody's
Yeah,
not
look.
gonna get. Everybody not gonna get across the board.
It's
I'm a
been
good
said.
wife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you and an individual may not have gelled, and he may base you not being a good wife because y'all don't gel. But in fact, you may be a good wife, but just not to him.
And it just depends. I feel like it Never mind.
She
I'm
been
trying to
watching.
get personal.
She be watching what she say. So are the duty, because the way you asking it, of course, you know, you speaking from your experiences, but are you looking at, oh, no,
I'm just asking a question.
okay, because are you,
Hypothesis.
okay,
Want to know if she's a good wife.
so, hypothetically, if someone's to say to you, I'm a good wife, I know I'm a good wife. Okay, I'm sorry,
I'm listening. No, I'm listening. Like I'm tuned
Okay.
into you. It
I'm
just,
a good wife.
my
I
mind
know.
wanders.
I'm a good wife. I know I'm a good wife. You know what I mean? I'm coming home every night. I'm making sure I cook you dinner. I'm making sure the house is clean. I'm making sure the children are taken care of. I'm here waiting for you. I'm okay. I'm here waiting for, like, I'm doing my duties as a wife. So I know I'm a good wife.
But-
Not only that, I'm making sure as a wife that it's slamming through you on your A game. Any soreness that you fall short, we had a baby. Come on, let's go ahead. We got to have this Aikira because we don't see that a lot nowadays, right? I'm making sure. Okay, all right. You've been working. You praying the man shit this week. Did you go to Jumu'ah? Okay, boom. Little things like that's just a little.
So if those,
But I still think it's individualized.
yeah, it is.
You know, what I'm saying? I don't
Absolutely.
think that's just a general question. Like
It's
you
still,
can't.
yeah.
It's individualized.
Cooking and clean, getting the kids together.
And then I still have
Yeah.
to go back
Okay.
to what he wants. Like, what are your expectations
Right.
of me?
Because every
Right.
man
It's
is
all in the
different.
beginning. What do you want from me?
Right.
Because you can want a list of 1 to 20,
Right.
and I fulfill that. So to him, I'm an excellent wife.
Right.
Somebody else might want 1 to 5, and I did 20, and they
And that's
say
not
I'm not
good.
a good wife because she
you're not.
doing too much.
Right.
So some
So,
people
yeah.
simple, some people are not.
Right. And I was just trying to understand Jolly, like, was
No, yeah, I
it-
mean they asked
Is
the
it,
question.
is it, oh, okay, they did, okay, so 1 through 20 need to be, need to be fulfilled though? Before we go, 1 through 20 need to be fulfilled?
I plead the fifth. Listen,
You've
you
been
know
open.
who my president is. We talked about it last week.
Oh,
Carry
okay,
on.
yeah, we're not gonna talk about your president. Okay, sisters, I'm so grateful that you came and sat and had this conversation with me. My doors are open, so, you know, I be sitting here alone, but you see what I'm going through. So my doors are open, and as I said before, I welcome other sisters to be able to speak for the sisters, you know, and give their perspectives, as well as the brothers as well. You are more than welcome. If you are interested in being on the podcast, please inbox me and just, you know, reach out to me or reach out to Jolly, and we'll definitely make sure that you are part of the next conversation. Now, the next topic is
What is the next topic? Let's talk about. Let's.
just real quick, okay,
Yeah.
because we got the person behind the next topic.
Yeah, they about to knock
It's-
over the camera and shit. So you might just put the next topic out there. Go ahead and
The
put
next-
it on out there.
The next topic is talking about intimacy in the marriage and how to keep intimacy good
Put the kids
in
to
the
bed.
marriage.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be a wild night.
So,
I'm
we'll
bringing
be
my big
we'll be
top
talking
hat.
about the recipe of keeping intimacy good in the marriage next Thursday, 6 p.m. live on Facebook, YouTube. Thank you to everybody that tuned in, and thank you for all the comments. I'm definitely going to get back to them. Jolly is as well. Thank you again. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. Good night.
In that other one. I don't want to get out of character. See, nothing out of pocket.